spent more time trying to censor rock music and art and movies and things like that, and they spent the time teaching their kids to appreciate and understand those things. Right and what's wrong. I think that's more time spent, more valuable.
It's less about Marilyn, but more about the hundreds of thousands of young people. What motivates them to? You know, Ozzy Osbourne in the '70s, he was real big. What motivates them to go out and buy a quote-unquote, you know, so-called demon-possessed young man's album?
But well, Nikita, more importantly, what possesses him to go out on stage?
No, but see, that's the whole thing. If there were no crowd, if there was no market, you know, he would be out of business. If there weren't people buying his records, making it platinum, and we have to see what's in the psyche of America.
Jordan wants to break in, so to speak.
The drift of this conversation seems to be, at least what I seem to get from you, is a question is Manson and others, are they responsible for the kind of society we have today? And I think that that is absolutely backwards. We have a society today without reference to Manson here, in which it is perfectly permitted, and it happens thousands of times, you know, throughout the year, when they take a viable baby from a mother, all the way except for the top of the head, shove a scissors through the base of its skull and suck out its brains, and you're complaining about him.
I'm not complaining about him.
Also,
I like him.
Think about this. What if you want to blame rock music for things? Think about what the Bible's done. What about Heaven's Gate or Jim Jones or the Ku Klux Klan?
Right.
What they do in the name of Christ?
They totally defy the Bible.
Yeah, but,
the Bible says, if you love God and hate your brother, you're a liar and God is not in you. Obviously, you have not read that.
No, I've read the Bible. I'm just saying what people do in the name of the Bible
is a liar and God isn't in him. So, you know, if we're going to quote the Bible, you complain that people take you out of context. Don't take the Bible out of context.
Oh, but the
majority of people
I'm not taking the Bible out of context.
Let alone do it.
He is not taking the Bible out of context. He is taking Friedrich Nietzsche out of context. That's what he's taking out of context.
But the Bible certainly has been the inspiration for an amazing amount of un-Bible-like activity.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And there's been more un-Bible-like activity. Look at our century. Look at the 20th century. You know, all of the mass murders and killings, more people have been murdered outside of the name of religion than have been in the name of religion in this century. That was just in the New York Times a year ago.
And that's your big claim to fame?
No, it's not. But why does everybody want to put the tag on, you know, oh, the Bible is evil, or we need to question...
No, I'm not saying that. I like the Bible. I'm just saying I don't like the way people misuse it, just as much as people could misuse it.
If you like it, then be the standard and do it. That's the problem.
I like it as a book, just like I like the Cat in the Hat.
Say there's something and they're not.
All right.
They say there's something and they're not.
I gotta take a break, Rashida. I'm sorry. Okay, now, turnabout is fair play. We've been talking about Marilyn Manson and his responsibility to society and so forth. Now, you also have a record out. And I have the lyrics to one of your songs, which I think is more irresponsible than anything on one of his records. Because
well, shoot, go ahead.
Yes, it says, it talks about condoms. And it says, like the condoms we sell them, but we won't tell them, it ain't safe, even if you got them. So you're telling kids it ain't...
That's not what it says.
That's what the lyrics is.
See,
don't you know they got holes? It says, don't you know they got holes you can't see? They might stop a baby, but it hardly stops VD.
That's right. That is correct. Condoms were never prevented. That is correct. You need to do your homework. You check the Centers for Disease Control. You check the Centers for Disease Control. When I testified before the Senate in Washington, D.C., as a Surgeon General, when I testified, it was true. Condoms were never designed to prevent people from getting anything except for pregnant. And we encourage people to use them to stop STDs. There are at least over 50 STDs, counting all the different strains that are out there. 20 of them, at least 20 of them, a condom really can't help you with. Condoms don't care.
How can it stop what stops pregnancy without stopping everything else?
Because the HIV virus is about 450 times smaller than a sperm cell.
And
if
warts.
we magnify that,
What about warts?
that's
What
about
about warts?
the size of a football field, would be the size of
So
one
what you're
sperm
telling
cell
horny
and a football
teenagers is the
size
only
of a
thing that you
football.
can do is be abstinent. And condoms don't work. So kids are not going to use condoms because they're going to listen to you and figure, well, why should we even use condoms? And that